Hello and welcome to Volume 1, Episode 1 of Prospector Profiles. We're here with Steve in the beautiful Colorado Rockies, and he's going to share some of his experiences with us. Steve, thanks so much for joining us on the show.
My pleasure.
Okay, so where are we, Steve, and what brought you here?
This is the Point Bar Recreation Area, 8 miles east of Salida, Colorado.
And how did you end up coming out here? What made you decide to come check out Point Bar Access?
The gold prospecting is what I came here for. This happens to be a free camping area. It's run and managed by the BLM. Heather Wright at the BLM in Salida, Colorado.
And you said she's been pretty helpful, and also like a realty place there?
Stroud Realty also helps provide maps, USGS maps if you need them.
Okay. And what is this piece of equipment down here? Just think in terms of people who've never done this before. What is that called?
That's a Keen Engineering 4-inch suction dredge.
And what does it do? How do you get gold with that?
You vacuum up the gravels off the bottom of the river, run them across the washboard, and then the gravels fall back into the river, and the gold stays in the sluice box. Oh, okay.
And is there anything custom about that particular setup there you got?
Actually, pretty much the whole thing is custom. The additional floats and the frame for it were custom made by Pat Keen himself.
Oh, really?
To accommodate the larger, heavier 8 horsepower motor.
Oh, okay. That's what's under the cover right now.
Correct.
Okay.
And the sluice box itself is a prototype made by the Keen brothers when they were experimenting with the double sluice or the drop box.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead towards your camp. I'll show some scenery while we're at it. And while we're walking, I'll just ask you a couple more questions. What's your earliest prospecting memory?
My family had a habit of going camping. It was a rule that we would go camping at least once a month.
Right.
And we actually, when the price of gold shot up in the early 70s, we started panning out in the desert at Last Chance Canyon in Cudahy Camp and the surrounding placer mines. And ever since then, we've just we did it for fun and for a hobby.
Well, you mentioned something like out in the Mojave Desert with some little $1.75 pan and the water only came up at night or something?
Oh yeah, I started with actually, our sluice was homemade. We made it out of wood, 1/2-inch redwood pickets. We made it ourselves in the garage, and the only other thing we ever used was a little pick, a little shovel, and little small Keen black pans, 10-inch pans. That's all we ever needed.
Oh, this is your camp here. That's a pretty fancy looking rig.
Yeah, little Toyota, 89 Toyota, gets me around. It's sort of famous, the custom bumpers and whatnot.
Okay, pardon the little shaking here, folks, as I set the tripod down in the spot. So you say people kind of know that ride, huh, where you go?
Yes, very famous. Prozap welding and the ironwork. And it's somewhat rare, and it's been around. People know it when they see it.
Okay, well, cool. And like, what's your favorite locations to look for gold?
We're in Colorado right now, but California, of course, is my. Sorry.
That's all right.
California is my haunt. The Merced River and the Bagby Recreation Area was probably my favorite.
Okay.
In 1990, I pulled out 2 ounces in one day on the Merced with that little 4-inch dredge.
Well, that's nice. Well, how long has it been since you've been prospecting before here?
I went through a slow period where I didn't prospect at all for about 10 or 15 years while I was trying to save up some money. And, I got laid off in December of 2008. And that's when I started suspecting that I was going to be prospecting again in the near future. Yeah, I don't recommend doing it for a living, but it's very, very hard work.
I'm moving forward because of the wind. I want to make sure we can still hear you. Yeah.
But it is doable to supplement your income during hard times.
Right.
If you're properly equipped. All of my equipment is used. The tent, the truck, the dredge. Every single bit of it has been purchased used.
You said that wetsuit you get at the thrift stores because they only last a season.
Are used. You know, $10, $15, $20, $30 here and there. which I just slowly collected over the years. I don't think I've ever bought any new equipment.
Okay. And what advice would you give someone who's just thinking about trying this, who's never done it before?
Do your homework. This recreational park, you can only be here for 2 weeks, and then you have to be out of the area for 45 days, which is quite a long time. You can't spend the whole season here. Lots of maps to find your claim markers. Of course, it's almost a necessity that you want to be a GPAA member, and also since we're here in Colorado, you want to be a GPOC member.
And what does that get you, being a member of these clubs?
Those are prospecting clubs, and they have claims. They acquire claims or purchase claims for their members to visit when they go prospecting.
All right, and that's where you get that big book that gives you all the places to go in the different states.
Yeah, you always want to start by going someplace where gold has been found. At least that way you have a chance of finding something.
What about gear? How much gear, how much would you have to get for gear, like for the beginner? I see a fellow with a pan and shovel, or what's the least amount of gear you can get? Very little.
Does not require a whole lot for the beginner. A pan, a trowel, maybe a shovel or a pick, a snuffer bottle, the basic GPAA starter kit.
So if you go to a prospecting store, they'd be pretty good about just hooking you up with the basics.
Yes, and yes, Keen Engineering, their factory is a block and a half from my father's house.
Oh yeah, you said you grew up around them?
Yeah, I met them. I think they remember me. We're not real close, but I'm sure they remember me from the early 70s.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'm still frequent there.
And where are you heading next after this, Steve?
I think GPOC claim Prospector number 3 will be my next visit.
Okay, cool. Well, I sure appreciate you joining us, and I wish you all the best.